Hello everybody and welcome back to Tlatoani, where we have been really close to getting this project, or rather this city, completed for a while now. Our prosperity is the only thing we need to bring up. It's at 50 out of 70 at this moment. Now, we do have a bit of a deficit at this exact juncture, which is actually surprising to me considering how many exports we have going on here. But this probably just indicates that we just need to give some time for the exports to actually happen. We're importing a lot of stone and obsidian, and that's particularly the obsidian is very expensive. So that's absolutely fine. Our prosperity should just slowly tick up. Some of our workshops are lacking Megui. Is that these down over here? Yeah, that's probably the case. We're trying to get some, but it is not going to be ready for a little while. So at this point, we need Polk to develop these modest estates, and we'll be getting there soon enough. This one here wants ambience. So to that end, I'm going to put in a gardener somewhere around over here. Yeah, here will be fine. And we'll start to put in some small gardens in these areas. So that looks okay, and then we can put in like some gardens right along here. I don't know that we can actually reach these. Yeah, we really can't. But we can then put in 28, 29, and 30. Okay, so that should increase the aesthetics in this area. So that seems good. And that will all get built fairly quickly. This gardener will need a farmer there, but there we go. That's now underway. That looks good. And that'll also boost up our... Well, we've got a dentist over here, so that'll boost up our dentist for sure. Do we have an herbalist around here? I'm not convinced that we do. No, I don't think we do. We could put in an herbalist. I'd like it to be in range of this gardener. So where would we want that to be? We could just put it like right back over here. That's a theoretical option. So that could go here, or it could go like up. We can't really fit it in there, but we could fit it in here. That is almost in range of that of that gardener. That's unfortunate. That's quite unfortunate. I'm going to take out these 4 small gardens, and we're going to just move them. So we're going to put in the herbalist right here as soon as that's done. They'll get removed in a moment. There we go. And then we'll need to put those gardens in somewhere else. So that's going to end up being, we're at 27 out of 30 right now. So 28, 29, and 30. That'll do. So that looks good. We'll get that herbalist in there. That will help out this area. We're up to 54 out of 70 prosperity now. So now the question is, are we going to get any Megui down over this direction? And we should, hopefully. We might need to step up our importation of it, though. We can't grow it ourselves, much to my chagrin. I would really be happy if we could. Where are we importing that from? I thought it was here. We're exporting furniture and importing obsidian. Interesting. Here? Importing salt. Where are we importing that? It's definitely around somewhere. Exporting cotton and amate. Yep, we expect that. Interesting. So we could definitely import some Megui over here, and I'm going to do that. Just 1 tick of Megui import. And then up through here. Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to remove 1 tick of cotton, and I'm going to put another of Megui there. So that's understood. That'll be absolutely fine. Long trip times for workers are a problem. Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. We just need to boost up our prosperity a bit here. So this collector is struggling a bit up over here, and we could certainly put in another one in this area. We could put that in like here, and that will relieve some of the strain from this collector, as well as getting some civil service over in this area. I think that'll be a good thing to do. So, where else do we have some relatively low quality housing? We've got this down over here. We need access to more religion and education over here. That's absolutely understood. So I would like to put in like this guy somewhere, but where? This would actually reach all of those. Done. So that looks good. That's more education. And then religion in this area. So we could definitely put in some shrines over here or something. Let's see. I'm just wondering if there are any of these that seem like they're thematically appropriate for housing. Not really. I'm going to do Tlaloc because this area does actually occasionally flood. This is weak symmetry at this moment, and that's noted. We could put it in over here, but that's awful or abysmal symmetry. Wait, this is good symmetry right here. Done. We'll just do something like that. Okay, so that's fine. That'll get us more religion down in this area and get these homes hopefully upgrading. What else do they need? Well, civic. So there's no collector down here either. So that's definitely something that we could think about putting in. That requires a scenic neighborhood. It would fit there. But apparently this isn't scenic. I wonder if it would be scenic if we just did stone roads in this area. Why can we not do stone roads here? Presumably there's swamp under there. Let's take those out. And we'll Chinampa them. Eventually. Yep. That's indeed exactly what it was. Okay, so we'll put in stone road here and here as well. And this should be stone road. And then we'll just run stone road up kind of like that for now. Okay, so those Chinampas should be maturing. They'll get finished soon enough. So that looks good. Our prosperity is continuing to increase here. We need a bunch of stone down for this shrine to Tlaloc, which is not surprising in the slightest. But this is definitely an area where I want to increase our quality of housing. So our prosperity is at 56 right now, continuing to head upwards. Just waiting for these Chinampas to finish. They should be done momentarily. Any moment now. There's one done. And 2. Perfect. So that looks good. This clay pit is now lacking a source of water. Right. So the clay pit needs to be relocated, and let's move that right up over here. It should still be going to this porter yard, so that should be fine. So we'll get that relocated. That should go very, very, very swiftly, in theory. It just takes timber, so we should have no problem with it. And we want to put in a collector. Well, there is a collector here. What did we want to put in down here? Has no access to water. Okay, so it seems like we need both a well dipper and a cistern. Is something that I've noticed. Because it seems like we don't have access to any water without a well dipper, but the cistern, like, doesn't actually provide water. It only upgrades existing water, from what I can tell. That seems to be the case. So this would not reach all the way down. Apparently we're out here now. Okay, that was exciting. So let's head over this direction. There we go. And I'd love to put in a well dipper, like, right up over here or something. We could Chinampa this territory and put that in there. So Chinampas go in like that. I assumed that cisterns would supersede well dippers, but that does not appear to be the case. Would it fit here? Yes, that would reach all of these houses. Done. So we'll do that. We'll put something else in up over here. I'm not sure what yet, but we'll get there. So that'll get us some water quality down over here. That'll be a big, big boost. Eventually, someone will start working there. There we go. And that immediately upgraded to a basin. So yeah, it seems like the cistern upgrades the basin. Or upgrades the well dipper to a basin, and then that provides good quality water. That's how that seems to work, from what I can tell. So this basin is immediately strained. Okay. And that is because it is serving all of this up over here as well. This well dipper exists, but it does not have a cistern to boost it. So I don't think we can actually squeeze a road through here. So that's interesting. If we were to do that, then we could do a stone road like this, and then have that connect up to a cistern that would go right here, like that, and then run aqueduct in like this, and then we would just make an aqueduct bridge right there so that we can hopefully still reach some of the woods out over here to chop that. So that should upgrade all of the water up here. That should upgrade this well dipper. And that should give good water quality up here instead of just basic water quality. If I'm understanding how this works correctly. I think I am. So we'll get that going. That seems good. And then down here, these should start building improvements. They have everything they need for the moment anyway. So that looks good. This small market is delivering pottery. It's delivering cloth. That seems okay. Excellent. I want to check down here. Have these guys started receiving pulque? Or rather, megui. There's no megui present right now, but they have produced some pulque, which clearly means that it's being produced. So that's good. We're up to 57 prosperity now, and let's see. Okay, so this well dipper is still in well dipper status at this point. But now it upgrades to a basin. It immediately goes to strained. But yeah, you can see even these down over here, they have good quality water. So we only need to pipe the water to the well dipper. The cistern upgrades the well dipper. That's good to know. So now that we know that that's the case, we can start thinking about how do we want to upgrade this well dipper. Which is an interesting question, to be sure. We can't get water piped across causeways. I'm 95% certain about that. So that's not an option. If we wanted to get water up to this well dipper, that would be a challenge, for sure. And then there's this well dipper over here as well. That would also be a challenge to get water there. Although the aqueduct is right here, and the cistern is right here. So this is the range of the cistern. It doesn't quite reach this well dipper, for sure. If we were to upgrade this road right here, just enough to get through the well dipper, that cistern is not going to reach the well dipper. But what if we swapped the position of the well dipper and the herbalist? So we could move the herbalist temporarily, like out over here. And then we'll move it back up over this direction. But I'm just swapping the positions here. So now that we understand how that works, that's going to make things a lot easier. We're just waiting for this herbalist to be removed. There we go. The well dipper is going to move here now. That's not going to take long either. And then we're going to move the herbalist back over this way. There we go. And we should see this well dipper upgrade to a basin very soon, in theory. Now, that might cause us some water issues. No, I don't think it will cause us water issues, actually. Okay, so that looks good. Theoretically, this should upgrade to a basin soon enough. We'll keep an eye on that. It took a little bit for this one to get upgraded to a basin, and that was understood. Nothing going on over here right now, though, as far as upgrading it. Some of our masons are lacking stone. That's fine. I want to check down over here. These guys have upgraded, so they'd prefer a home closer to their place of work. Fair enough. We also need more diversion. A plaza, ball court, or sauna. So we've got an alcove right up over here. I think a sauna is a good option. Is that going to fit in the place we just chinampa'd? We'll need a little bit more space there. So for us to get that completed, we would need these two spaces chinampa'd. That's it, just those. And then we can run a stone road like that. And then that would be a sauna. So that looks good. And that'll also mean that we have jobs down over here, which would, of course, be a good thing. We would definitely like to have some jobs down there. Yeah, they want to work closer to their place of employment. That's absolutely understood. There aren't that many jobs down over on this side. So we would definitely like to put more jobs in here. So these Chinampas are underway. Looks good. I want to check in on the status of this well dipper. I'm still expecting that this well dipper upgrades to a basin, but it hasn't happened yet, and I'm wondering why. So I'm turning the camera here to look at the stone roads. It looks like the stone roads are good. Is that a range issue? It is. The well dipper is connected here instead of connecting over here. That's unfortunate. Similarly, this cistern doesn't quite reach this well dipper. And that's also a bit unfortunate. So now that we know that that's the way that works, we can plan for that in the future, for sure. But for right now, I'm not terribly concerned about it. I think for the moment, all we need to do is wait. So what's going on with our prosperity? Debt, profit and loss, destitution, elite housing, common housing. Yeah, so let's look at the elite housing over here. Ambience, barracks. Okay, so this house wants a barracks. That's definitely something we can think about doing. Maybe this space we could fit one? I don't know. Barracks are pretty big. Yeah, we'd have to put it out on, like, this side of the aqueduct. There is a road out over here, of course, and would this reach if we put it here? No, it would not. But we could do a aqueduct bridge right there, and that might change matters. So if we now put in a barracks here, would this reach all of these nobles? Yes, it would. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll put in a barracks right back over here, and this granary is not reaching the barracks. So we're going to need another granary back over this direction. That is, of course, going to be getting really just maize, but I'll have it be maize, fruit, and chili. But really just maize is what we need over here. But it can be something like that. And then we'll also need a porter yard or a porter stop to supply weapons. I'm just going to cram in a porter stop right over here. So this is going to be weapons and armor, and we're going to be getting both of those. So we'll get that underway, and that will hopefully boost up these nobles some more. Do we have any noble housing up over here other than the Royal Palace? I think the Royal Palace is all we did for our noble housing. Access to more diversion. Consider building a plaza or a house of song nearby. So there's a house of healing here. Okay, we could definitely think about putting in... Plazas are way too big for this area. But we could think about putting in a house of song back over here. That would require changing around our current setup here. And that's understood. I don't want to take that out. But we can take these out here. And just checking in on where this is going to go here. Yeah, that's relatively appropriate. So then we would need to put in stone canals that would end up going like this. Excellent. So we'll have a bit of a hard time reaching some of this, obviously. And we're going to need to do some chinampaing out over here eventually. But we'll just clear out a little bit of extra space here. And we'll get some chinampas in as soon as this is all cleared. Just about there. There's still a little bit of canal here and here that I'd like to see get removed. There we go. So we'll get those out of there, and that'll all get chinampa'd, and we'll put that in soon enough. So that looks fine. We're definitely seeing these alcoves being strained. That's okay. So down over this direction, more diversion. Right, we were going to build a sauna right up over here was the idea. So that looks fine. That's going to go in. That'll get us more diversion, and that will also get us some more health in this area and jobs in this area, which would be good. So down over this direction, we see that that porter stop has gone in, and the barracks is here. Excellent. And the granary is here as well. So that all got built very, very quickly. Out over here, these chinampas are almost done. We're getting there. So we're going to need to build some roads around this. I'm going to have it be stone road. Just like that. And we can just continue to push that stone road right on through. We just need this position of Chinampa here. And we can start building our House of Song immediately. So that's going to be this guy. Oh, we beat some bandits. Okay, cool. And then we'll put a stone road right up over here. As soon as this Chinampa is finished. So that will, of course, cost some stone, but that's not a problem. We're up to 58 out of 70 prosperity, so we're definitely making progress there. One of these days, this Chinampa is going to finish. There we go. Okay, so the House of Song only needs 10 stone. That's already done, so that looks good. Staff will arrive there pretty soon, and it is providing its diversion. So at this point, we can check in on the Royal Palace and see it's at 80 out of 100 diversion. It's only got 37% access to the ball court. That's understood. The ball court is pretty far away. So if we wanted to put in a plaza to help that out, where would we do that? Plazas are pretty big. I don't suppose this would reach it. No, not quite. So we'd pretty much have to create a new area out over here, right? And that's fine. So the stone canal would come out kind of like this. I don't know if this is at all the right size. This is going to be too big, but by how much? Let's find out. So if we go back into here and we look at the plaza would go, you know, approximately here or so. So it's actually the right size except on the back here. This should move back by only 1. So this canal would then go here, like that. And then the plaza would be going in back over here, like this. And then it would have a stone road going around all sides. So we can do that, and then we can take these out. And that will, of course, need to be fully chinampa'd, and that's absolutely fine. No problem whatsoever there. We'll get all of that chinampa'ing, and we can't do these yet. Okay. We'll get there. So these are going to need to be done a little bit later. That's understood. So we'll get these chinampas in as soon as we can. And we just can't reach these, unfortunately. Okay, so most of these chinampas are underway now. Excellent. I do want to get these built, but we have to wait. Very, very sad. But I do want to get this plaza in. Our prosperity dropped down to 56 now. It was at 57, but now it's back down to 55. So what's going on with that? Destitution is the answer. Who do we have that's destitute? People without jobs, maybe? Maybe. We've not been building new housing. We've just been building new jobs, and that should be theoretically fine. So this barracks is good back here. More education and needs to be prettier. Ambience has everything it needs. Pottery and pottery out over here. So we're having a bit of a hard time with the pottery in this large market. That's understood. So we've got this porter yard over here. I'm wondering about this porter yard. We can have this be set to accepts. I don't think we have room here really to build too many kilns, but I would be interested in potentially putting some kilns right through here, like that. So that looks okay, and then we would already be getting clay, so that looks fine. We'll get some pottery building up there. So that looks good. They're still upset about ambience in this area, apparently. It's very rude of them. But it's fine. We can put in more gardens. It's absolutely a-okay. So these kilns are going to be producing pottery very soon. We clearly need more pottery production, and that seems good. I'm wondering if we're actually getting any Megui whatsoever down this way. I don't know that we are. It doesn't really matter, though. So that's fine for now. The sweeper is still strained out over here. That's understood. But for the time being, it's fine. What we need to do now, of course, is we need to Chinampa these last 2 remaining locations where our plaza is going to go. And then let's run our road all the way around here. There we go. And that's looking fine. There we go. So I think the reason our prosperity is dropping right now is possibly due to our deficit. And we did crank up our imports, so that's definitely noted. We could think about another pair of, like, trading posts out over this way, with the idea being one here, that these are both going to be exports for specifically cotton. So this is going to be... let's see here. These guys? No, that's imports. Hang on. We want to be exporting cotton, not importing. There we go. That's much better. So let's do something like this. This is just pure cotton exports at this point. So we'll get that underway. That'll be a few more jobs as well. And we could maybe see about a barracks and a fortress up here, because I doubt that these are going to be reached. Yeah, they're not. So we could definitely think about a barracks and a fortress up over this direction. So that would be a fortress right here, or maybe right here. Yeah, I like that better. And then right across the way, a barracks. And then we're going to need to have a porter stop right up over here, with the idea being getting weapons and armor. Okay, so we'll get that all underway. That'll be more jobs again, and that'll be good. Our prosperity is dropping precipitously at this point, and to be honest, I'm not sure why. Is it just because of long trip times? Because that would be kind of insane. These Chinampas are almost done, so let's get this plaza in here. Or is it just because we're importing large amounts of stone? That might be the problem. Also, this was strong symmetry, apparently, although the tooltip says abysmal. Whatever. I'm sure it's fine. So our prosperity is continuing to drop here, despite everybody getting upgrades, so there's that. We need more access to religion here. They prefer to work closer to their place of employment. Fair enough. As far as more jobs over here go, we could definitely think about putting in, like, more trading posts. We could do one about here, and then one somewhere like here. And these would also be set to exporting cotton. Just exporting cotton, nothing else. And they're going to not necessarily have the best of protection. But for the time being, that's probably okay. But we can just continue to dig back into the forest over here, and we can put in a fortress somewhere. There are ficus trees here. I'm not sure I care. We can put in a fortress here and barracks here. And then we can have a road, of course, that's going to go up like this. And then on the far side of the road, we can have a porter stop up this way that is going to be on weapons and armor. So something like that. That'll get us more jobs going, and that will, of course, be a glorious thing for us. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, more nutrition. Okay. Next episode, we're going to see about getting this prosperity score up. Hopefully. We'll start tracking down what the actual problems are. It's probably things like this out over here. We need more education. We can address that right out over here, but that is a job for next episode. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge, STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.